Ladies and gents, welcome to what many people thought were the group of death at the start of Titans League. This is the third round for TaToH. TaToH comes in with just 3 wins after 2 rounds, which for a player of his caliber is surprising. But it's not so surprising that TaToH has 3 wins when you consider he played the Viper and Leary thus far. So he beat Viper 2-1, and then he lost to Leary 2-1. And now he will play Classicpro here, and then play Sobek, and then play Vivi. 3 players that were promoted up from gold. So TaToH's going to be the favorite in all those sets. TaToH's gone for the Japanese here on El Dorado. And then we have Classicpro, who's gone for the Malians. And it does raise some questions on what civilization Classicpro will pick on Costa Mountain. But I don't remember all of his drafts, so maybe it's not worth talking about too much. Now, Classicpro has 2 wins. He got 3-0'd by Leary. But then he got 2 wins in his series against Sobek. And it was a really back-and-forth series. And it really feels like in this group, TaToH, Viper, and Leary are fighting over who's first, second, or third. And then Classicpro, Vivi, and Sobek are probably going to be fighting over who's 4th, thus staying alive, and then who goes back down to gold for the next season. Now, to make this a little bit more spicy and interesting, okay, a reminder on how things work post-group stage. At the conclusion of the group stage, whoever is first in each group goes directly to the quarterfinal. They're all separated from each other. Whoever's second in Group A will play third in Group B, and then second in Group B plays third in Group A, and it's the same with C and D, okay? So the reason I bring that up is because of the results have been flooding in, and at least with live standings, that'll probably change, but currently TaToH is in 3rd place in Group D, okay? But it feels like either Viper, Leary, or TaToH are going to be 3rd, right? Well, right now, 2nd place in Group C is Hera, because of the amazing performances from Andy, which would send Hera to a playoff, which means we could have, if that stands, and it may not, but there's at least a pretty solid possibility that we could have like a Hera Viper, Hera Leary, Hera TaToH situation in the playoffs round of 12, as opposed to a final, because it all stems back to every game mattering and how well you perform in the group stage. So that's kind of fun to think about, you know, and it puts all the more importance for TaToH, having gotten Viper and Leary out of the way. Win all your freaking games. 3-0 every single person you face and win this group so you don't have to be in a nightmarish position in a playoff. Because, I mean, who's ever going to be 3rd place in that group is also going to be pretty good as well. I mean, whoa! I just dropped my phone. Did you hear that? Okay, it didn't break. I can leave it on the floor. Sorry. My bad. Just wanted to get some of the introductions out of the way there. Now, for Classicpro, the final thing I'll say before we really break down this matchup is I think you get 1 win here and you're happy. You get 2 or more wins and you're thrilled. But there is just simply a gap between the 2 of them. Classicpro did get wins against Viper when they played in previous seasons against each other, so maybe with a win here, a win against Viper, and then he wins a series against Vivi, and then Classicpro could maybe potentially ease his way into 3rd or fall into that 4th place spot. Okay, so sorry about the whole phone thing. Someone asked why Malians. Well, because this is a map where you're going to see a lot of wood spent. Your lumber camps, your mills, your mining camps, your houses, your docks, and all the buildings with the Malians are cheaper. So there's a very big reason to have the Malians, and that's just all these buildings are discounted by 15%. So you have wood savings there. Now, similarly for the Japanese, you have cheaper lumber camps, mills, and mining camps, but you don't have cheaper docks or like cheaper barracks or cheaper, you know, anything else. Small thing here, by the way, this kind of looks walled. It's not. As a player, I like to use the useless plant remover mod, but it's interesting to me that TaToH has left this open. And I'm going to assume that he knows that that's open, but right now, as he's playing kind of defensive, it's just something to think about. But TaToH is going for more fishing ships and probably a 2nd dock in the north. And this, to me, is the best way to play this map, is play heavy on water. Right now for Classicpro, he's got villagers on gold. He's scouting that TaToH's still here. He might not actually expect a 2nd dock because TaToH's original dock villager was still there. Normally you would delete that and move the vill. Like, you see this? You see how he did that? So Classic Pro probably will think that TaToH is currently on one dock. TaToH's scouting, though. And he's not going to confirm the situation there, but he does see villagers on gold for Classic Pro. TaToH makes the house. TaToH makes the stable. Classic Pro sees it. And because Classic Pro's got 2 docks and double fire galley, he doesn't have a barracks yet. But he adds the barracks now. So this is the, you know, the pros and cons of it all, right? Potential to kill fish, yes. But could potentially fall behind on land as well now if you're Classic Pro. Yeah, and TaToH will now add scouts on land, and Classic Pro will need to have spears prepared. He does get hit by TaToH's spearman there. Backs away, though. TaToH on gold, even dropping a tower there. And TaToH will make fire galleys. But I think the approach from TaToH makes sense because Japanese have tanky fishing ships. So you have an easy tendency to be able to come back on water. But definitely a bit greedier approach for TaToH there. Classic Pro is going crazy to punish the greed. Just takes so long. Like, you've produced 2 ships already. Your opponent doesn't even have 1. But by the time you get there, TaToH might have 2 already. And there's a range for Classic Pro as he walls up the right side. Still keeping an eye on TaToH. TaToH hasn't scouted anything more. If TaToH sends his navy forward, it could get interesting. He's even going to add a 3rd dock. I think that's actually for the efficiency of his fishing ships more than anything. I like to see that. The fire's looping around from Classic Pro. And then there's more even looping down here as well. So he's coming. And then here these fires should meet each other. But TaToH did not patrol. So a little sloppy there from TaToH. And perhaps the fact he didn't scout Classic Pro's dock is why this is happening. And he'll react with a bunch more fires. But TaToH hasn't killed anything with his scouts yet. Classic Pro's defended pretty nicely. Classic Pro will also then have archers. But, like, even still, TaToH's able to just sit back here and defend. This is why adding the additional fishing ships feels smart. And so as TaToH started off investing into land. Weird woodline, by the way. This is kind of a bug that, I mean, I don't think it's been common, so we'll see if T-West can look at it, but this shouldn't happen. Looks like TaToH actually lost a spearman here. And is going to push away the fire. And then just like that, there's going to be 2 new fires. It just feels like TaToH has calculated this so nicely here. Now, Classic Pro's thinking, my opponent's got spearmen and a couple scouts. So if I go archer spearman, this could be really good for me. And TaToH's going to make a demo soon. But we'll see if it actually ends up being good for him here. Because TaToH does have the tower already. And I think that's something Classic Pro's unaware of. He feels like I could take him off of gold, and that's huge. The preemptive tower from TaToH means that he doesn't really have to worry about that too much. And market now for Classic Pro, who's probably like, haven't killed that much on water yet, but he will also add a few fishing ships. And Classic Pro's lost his scout, 2-2 eco KD, res collected, higher for TaToH on the food because of the fish, and maybe some other small aspects. Like, he doesn't have as much food underneath his TC, so he had prioritized a bit more food income, and TaToH clicks up. So, I really like how TaToH's played it thus far. Classic Pro's approach makes a lot of sense as well, though. And, ooh! This is going to be unnecessarily annoying for TaToH. Nice job from Classic Pro to find an area where he could do damage. I mean, at the end of the day, TaToH can just relocate to the other wood line. But that's not something TaToH really has an answer for right now. Here, TaToH. Boom! Boom. Okay, he hits. Boom. Thank you for that, TaToH. Great defense from TaToH on water. And he's massing more scouts here as well. And this, I think TaToH's kind of like baited Classic Pro in here. It's like defense first, offense later. Offense in Castle Age is what I've seen a lot of the players who have success in this map do. But the offensive plays, granted, we are talking about, you know, the players stylistically as well, but the offensive plays normally struggle a little bit on water. Classic Pro will be up as well. TaToH's made additional scouts. Classic Pro hoping to kill these scouts. That's not going to happen, though. TaToH clear up every single archer. And Classic Pro will just try and kill that one scout and wedge it in here so he could have a little bit more freedom in the middle of the map for the time being. But again, TaToH, little ring around the rosy and another kill. As he's on 7 fishing ships. And TaToH's still utilized the stable. He's got fire galleys on the way. I think the first thing you should click is the war galley upgrade. Go kill those fish. Surprised that hasn't been the theme for some others in this map. He can't really afford it right now, so that's probably part of it for him. But Classic Pro's got 1 ship. He does have 4 on the way. TaToH's got 7 ships. TaToH's scouts have bloodlines now. They also have armor, so more archers can get picked off. The Spearman's also in the mix, and TaToH taking pretty good fights. No war galley upgrade for TaToH. If Classic Pro had a demo right now, it would be huge. And TaToH's still coming on this side, too. But feels like Classic Pro really needs to stabilize on water and land at the moment, but there's not a lot on land from TaToH yet. And Classic Pro with the repair here. See if he can get the repairs in. Could be really good. He pulls away. TaToH losing his ship. Again, defense paying off on this map. And also this demo could rock TaToH here too. So I think Classic Pro could be okay. TaToH is, though, comfortable enough to add fish behind this. And his opponent is not Japanese like he is. So the fishing ships die a whole lot faster. And you have to pay attention to this while also paying attention to the middle on a map where there's tons of stone and gold in the middle. It's so easy to prioritize middle due to all the gold and stone there. But if you do that, you give up the food. And in a close game, TaToH, in my opinion, has the lead right now due to the eco side of things. Classic Pro now has 2 on food. Seems like such a common situation on this map. The player who takes the middle, who prioritizes the stone and gold, and loses the food. And TaToH will back away. A couple scouts and camels here. TaToH will see this, but I think he's distracted at the moment. And Classic Pro gets in there. There's a knight in there as well, so villagers will definitely die. TaToH has a couple monks, but TaToH is out of gold, guys. So he's got no gold at the moment. Good job from Classic Pro. That's 3 eco kills from him now. Still has potential to maybe find TaToH's fish if he continues through this. But I think TaToH's, he's got enough ships to just hold that area. And TaToH was on stone, but he had to pull all those vills off of stone. And there's quite a bit of idle time, you know. Classic Pro has done a really nice job despite losing the middle area. He's starting to farm now. He's adding siege. He's got good vision on what TaToH's going for, where TaToH is. And TaToH hasn't had a market this whole game. It's going to drop one now. And I mean, it seems like he wants to buy a castle, but he doesn't actually have the resources for the castle yet. I think army-wise, if he had the stone, he could just walk forward. Nothing from Classic Pro could really stop him. He could drop the castle. But if Classic Pro has siege, that could be very different. You see TaToH's approach. Surprised we're not even seeing more fishing ships. He's actually selling the wood instead so he can buy stone. TaToH's still waiting. That raid from Classic Pro, pulling TaToH off of stone, killing the stone miners with stone in their hands is a pretty big deal. I'm sure Classic Pro is just waiting right now. This would be the time for Classic Pro to have all of his army in the middle. If he could have all of his army together to try and deny this, that would be ideal. Here comes TaToH. Now, there's monks here, so TaToH's got to be careful. Also, the spearmen from TaToH all need to come forward. They're Japanese spears. Classic Pro will see this. There's siege as well from Classic Pro. Now, the monks need to be protected by something. And, oh, the attack round and the TC fire from Classic Pro actually kind of helps. TaToH dives, but he'll lose one of his knights. The mangonels are still moving forward. Castle's going up, though. Monk's getting killed. Castle's at 60%. The siege has just been pushed back. TaToH getting pikemen seemed perfect. If it was just spearmen, maybe he wouldn't have done as much. And TaToH, who has the fish boom, will now have full control over the middle gold area. Now, I say full control. That's not technically true. I think this gold could be taken, but Classic Pro just calls the GG. And yet again, it's just another game where the water matters so much here. It's so easy to take control of the middle area and feel comfortable, but then you just can't really do a lot with it. TaToH waited. He was patient. And he played towards the food eco on that outside area. And then dropped his castle. So it reminds me of, you know the rule we have in community games? Don't be the guy that goes to the middle first in King of the Hill. It kind of reminds me of that with El Dorado. And, you know, the main problem, okay? The main problem is you just fully give up on water with no potential to kill fish. I think if you're behind on water and you're still able to kill fish, that's fine. But the players who just kind of lose water and that's it, they very rarely win this game. I think that's now 4 or 5 times in a row they've lost on it. And TaToH just had more food and was able to use that to make the pikes. And the pikes were enough to protect the villagers coming forward. It felt close, though. TaToH was almost out of stone. But yeah, beautiful castle spot. Classicpro maybe needed a little bit more oomph there. Maybe some of his own spearmen or something like that. I don't know. All right, so TaToH went Vietnamese, and we have Cumans for Classicpro. Who, again, the goal is probably just snag a win here. Snag a win. You can make it happen. And good for you. He's got really good map for this. Holy. He's got both his golds in the back, both his stones in the back, and more importantly, the stones and the golds are near a wood line. So if he were to make a second TC, I could see him building it here. I could also maybe see it here. Like, this TC seems great, actually. Wood, stone, gold, everything. Only 6 tiles of gold up on the hill. And you can see TaToH's 3 and 3 here. This is a little bit more standard than to be spread out, but there's no, like, rhyme or reason for it. It could appear at random spots. The only thing that we've adjusted is the bores. So the bores are usually to the back or on the side. I mean, TaToH will know exactly where his opponent is because of the Vietnamese bonus. Your eco upgrades research faster now. You still don't spend wood on your eco upgrades. You've got great archers. Honestly, you can play into knights. You can play into infantry. Oh, sorry, I didn't put the score up there for TaToH's win. So you have options. But I like the Cumans pick from Classicpro, whether it works or not, because it's a risk. And if you feel as though TaToH's the superior player, you want civilizations that give you high risk, high reward situations. And so that high risk, high reward shows itself in aggression or heavy defense. And one would assume it's going to be heavy defense here for Classicpro, who's even going to wall at this stage of the game. A little uncommon to see walls. I don't hate it, though. If you feel like your map is insane, maybe wall a little bit. Like maybe wall here, 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 but it will delay your eco. Typically, you're not seeing any walling, and you just build the TC right away. We'll see what type of uptime he's able to pull off here. So, you know, if TaToH were to end up playing out towards, like, if he's expecting the second TC from Classicpro, there's 2 trains of thought. The first one is what most people do these days, and it's go Feudal Age and adapt. Hold the map control and try and then kill them in Castle Age. Or you could just go Fast Castle. And you could just say, well, they're going to be in Feudal Age. At least I'm guessing that. So let's go Fast Castle and get to Knights and Siege really quickly. But it feels like no one does that these days versus Cumans. Feels like people are happy to do some level of damage in Feudal. And then just, you know, be Castle Age a bit later than a Fast Castle would bring them. I don't know if there's really a right or wrong to it. It's just kind of a tricky situation overall. TaToH knows what Classicpro's up to now. When he showed up, he saw loom on the villagers, I'm sure. He didn't see the walling, though. And he also didn't see the gold and stone position. So, you know, TaToH doesn't want to go through there. He doesn't see stone on the front. He doesn't see gold in the front. I would go through. Just go check. Maybe he doesn't want to get trapped in there, though. He never saw the walls over here. Classicpro walling like a madman. And TaToH's going to be going for Man-at-Arms. This is something that Classicpro probably assumes because he saw the barracks going up earlier. And that actually makes the walling become more important than it would have been previously. Human palisade walls do also get more HP. This civ is designed for this. And then they spend all the wood in the second TC, but then also the stables and archery range are cheaper on wood. So it's easier for them to play defensive because of the palisade walls. Classicpro still hasn't walled here, though, which is potentially going to be an issue. Yeah, so there's that bonus. Then you have the cheaper archery ranges and stables, so after spending all the wood, you're able to recover. This is nice from Classicpro. Faster Feudal Age. TaToH Scout could go down here. He knows that if he just runs, he's going to take damage anyways. But... oh, TaToH Scout goes down. And Classicpro's going to see the militia. Classicpro, don't lose your scout. Okay. Guys, how do you break this? I think this is a really sick play. Like, the last time we saw Cumins was when Running played it against Yo. And Yo already accomplished more because Running didn't full wall. The second town center's up. We see villagers on the way. Like, TaToH can't hit any villagers. He now has lost his scout, so he doesn't even know like where Classicpro is. I think the only thing he could really do to hope to do damage would be to attack the wall and then bring archers in behind it. And TaToH, he might see this palisade wall and choose to attack it and just lose men-at-arms to the TC. He doesn't know where the TC is. Maybe he assumes it? I don't know. This TC was maybe to protect the wood line. It's a bit of a weird TC spot, considering the options Classicpro had, but it's not bad. You do this for food and wood eco, the second TC. You prioritize the golden stone later. That's still safe, so you can still take it. And TaToH's like, I need to do something, so I'm going to attack his house. And Classicpro, utilizing that scout now, knows that TaToH will have a range follow-up. So this is where you might consider making a barracks and an archery range. Because you don't want TaToH to get a big archer snowball, if nothing else, to allow himself to go forward with the siege workshop later. Because, like, if you just boom, TaToH's still going to reach Castle Age faster than you, and then the villagers can walk across the map. And TaToH's actually sending 2 villagers now, so... Is late game better for the Vietnamese? Oh yeah, 100%. Vietnamese has one of the best late games. Their late game's really good. Against a variety of different civs, but especially Cumins. The thing about Cumins, though, is it's not that their late game is really that special. It's that their advantages in Castle Age and early Imperial Age could sometimes be too hard to stop. But in adding the range and adding the barracks, you've just spent, even though it's discounted... with a range anyways, it's 275 wood, which could have been 5 farms. So these now 5 villagers aren't farming, so that delays your Castle Age time. But the trade-off is obviously that you have map control. And I like what TaToH's doing now. He's doing something. And TaToH's also going to try and drop a tower here. So TaToH knows the TC is there, knows the wood is being taken. I like the idea from TaToH. I'm curious to see what happens when Classicpro sees it. Because, honestly, you have this wood line. I won't even think you have to worry about it. Just relocate to the other wood line. And don't really pay attention to it. TaToH will see that Classicpro's added the archer range. So he's probably like, oh, this is an archer war. Okay. I feel like TaToH's done as much damage as he could have possibly done. And he's delayed various resources. Forced reactions like the archers too. This is good from TaToH. He's controlling the game right now. But he is behind 10 or so vills. And Classicpro will just do nothing about that tower. Still adding his own archers here when he can afford to do so. But I think he's probably pretty pestered and annoyed by this. This is his food eco we're talking about. The farm count's still not that insane. TaToH's mining more stone at home. So TaToH could conceivably build another tower, and that Classicpro needs to be a little bit scared of. We'll see if Classicpro maybe makes an outpost. But Classicpro's mining stone, I think, so he can make another tower if he needs to. But it's not the prettiest eco. There's just a lot of people here. Right? Like, there's a lot of villagers. Another range from Classic Pro. Interesting. And the scouting from Classic Pro shows the vills. Okay, so it shows the vills. I think he might have thought that was a tower for a sec. He'll see it's an outpost. And wait for the tower from TaToH and then probably make his own. But he's given up berries. TaToH sees the archers from Classic Pro. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. TaToH with the gate. But where are you going here, pal? Another gate? I think you're going to lose those vills. So Eco KD is going to be 0-0 for now. Meaning TaToH hasn't killed anything. And TaToH could lose both of these. So honestly, execution could be a bit better from Classic Pro. I think he's distracted. Yeah, he's really housed right now. This is messy. So normally, what I suggest in a straight human boom game is you idle your TCs once you get to about 55 and then click up out of one of them. Because you're still spending so much food that your opponent could reach Castle Age way faster than you. You've gained the villager lead. The best way to take advantage of it is at least click up to Castle Age first. I wonder if we'll see another tower from Classic Pro. Worker efficiency has not been great. TaToH still had full control. And TaToH will use the market. TaToH's going to click up to Castle Age here soon. Classic Pro still producing tons of vills. And he's expecting that TaToH will run in here. You know what would be so epic is a counterattack. TaToH has no scout. You have a tower now. So TaToH can't really advance much further if you wall this way anyways. God, this eco is so messy for Classic Pro. It's kind of stressing me out. But look at TaToH. He's like, this seems too good to be true. Why is he letting me in here? Wait a second. Let's see what he does at home. He's definitely... this is amazing game sense. He's like, where are your archers? You let me in here for a reason because you towered me. I know why you're doing this. This is so good. This level of game sense is insane. Now, does that win the game for TaToH? Not necessarily, but it definitely makes sure that he doesn't lose the game because of it. And also is going to attack here, potentially kill some vills. Now, Classic Pro, he doesn't really care about archers in the long run, so he'll take any trade he can get here, I'm sure. But the fact that he's been spotted is probably a surprise to him. TaToH just killed one vill there. TaToH's going to have a pretty significant army mass. And he could have just run in with the archers, not been able to pass by the tower, and then he'd be exposed at home. But he knew. Because there was no real attempt. Like, Classic Pro didn't show his army for a long time. And there was no attempted quick wall when he'd spent the last 5 minutes doing it. So TaToH was like, what? Why? It doesn't make any sense. But now TaToH's like, okay, I'm about to hit Castle Age. I need to go kill. And there is an army from Classic Pro looping. And TaToH has new archers here, but there's only going to be 2 of them. TaToH needs this damage control now. As this villager's forward, this villager's made a stable for a night. 63 eco versus 38. Good awareness from TaToH, but good sneakiness from Classic Pro to get here. Classic Pro, I'm not sure what his plan is with his army. Like, actually, he's making skirms, so I think he wants to go skirms. TaToH's going to try and distract with the knight so the crossbows can go underneath the TC. Classic Pro, you need to shoot the crossbows. Oh, jeez. Crazy moments there. Holy. And we see ranged upgrades from Classic Pro. Still got a 20 villager lead. The efficiency's been rough. Worker efficiency last minute. Overall, it's been rough because you just had so much moving around. But Bodknar will be in for Classic Pro as well. He's got skirms and he's got archers. TaToH won't have much more in the way of knights. TaToH's still on 1 town center. No second town center. Still obviously 2 for Classic Pro. Classic Pro's lost villagers and it's been messy. You have the vills. It's not all that crisp and clean right now for you, though, TaToH. It is interesting to see that TaToH picked humans against... Or that Classic Pro picked humans against TaToH, right? Because TaToH's so known for it. But I think it's just a good pick for Golden Pit. And it's a good pick, sorry, when you're the underdog. which is what Classic Pro is in this series. And again, TaToH's rush can't really threaten Classic Pro because Classic Pro can take wood elsewhere. So Classic Pro just says, I'll counterattack then. But it seems like he's maybe a little torn on that, as he maybe really does want to kill these. Classic Pro is banking up stone. Well, he was until he sold some of it, but he seems to be banking up stone to think about a castle still. Res collected, guys. Ridiculous lead for Classic Pro. The walling in the second TC was so smart. And we even have ballistics coming in for Classic Pro. No armor at all for his skirms, which is really bad. You need to at least have the first armor upgrade to feel like the skirms are doing the job you'd want skirmishers to do. But he does have pretty solid unit numbers right now. And TaToH will go for defensive siege, which could eventually lead towards being more offensive. And Classic Pro looking for these crossbows, but just forgetting about them for a moment. And TaToH's been a real pest here. Like, TaToH's army activity on the front has made it so he doesn't have as many problems at home. Because Classic Pro has to constantly respect this. And then you can't show up here with just skirms because you see the stable. And TaToH's already making a knight. Here come the Vills for Classic Pro, headed towards the middle, where he doesn't have a ton right now. And TaToH's advancing forward. And TaToH's now in the back as well. Crazy that TaToH's able to have so much army control. Classic Pro's going to see the siege, and this is where the panic's going to set in for him, and the game slows down. We're watching live. And there's going to be a castle from Classic Pro in the middle now. That should go up. TaToH's crossbowmen have forced so many reactions from Classic Pro, though. Look at the idle time. Not to mention, like, these villagers aren't working. Worker efficiency last minute, 36%. Like, I think TaToH... he's still going to have some big problems here, but I think I could see his way back into this as long as he can defend from the army Classic Pro might send over to his base. TaToH is 3 town centers. Classic Pro's efficiency has been really awkward. He's played a great game, but he needs his army to actually do something to TaToH's eco right now. Because TaToH's catching up. 18 on food versus 12. And skirmishers again over here, and TaToH just pulls away. God, like, TaToH is so good with controlling the game with his army. He could have less army than you, and he's going to somehow pose more of a threat. He could have worse army than you, which he does right now. Still keeping an eye there. Classic Pro will make a move in through here. TaToH, I think, almost didn't believe that Classic Pro would run through. Classic Pro has got to... you can't allow that to happen. I think TaToH wanted to trap him. A good job, though, from Classic Pro. Forcing reactions from TaToH, finally. TaToH, by the way, close to having his own castle. Could consider a castle in the middle, but I think Classic Pro's castle position is really smart. TaToH with an opportunity to land an attack round there. Does land the next one. This is all because of the army movement here that Classic Pro's reacting to. And Classic Pro, concerned, will add his own siege now. Mangonel's on the way. This could be so bad for Classic Pro, right? Going up the hill when TaToH has more siege weapons than you, and we've got a pause. Oh, boy. I mean, res collected again. Advantage Classic Pro, but the food count's closer than I thought. It's just the gold now you've got to sort out if you're TaToH. But the food count should start to spike more and more for Classic Pro. The reason he has so much wood is because Vills have been moving all around to different areas. So pulling villagers off of wood and adding farms is going to be something he's doing pretty consistently here. Classic Pro needs victories, guys. This is so important to him. And this is a situation that he would have wanted. Back gold, back stone. 2 TCs went pretty flawlessly here. You've only lost 11 villagers. You've killed 3 yourself. Oh, man, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. I mean, there's an argument to just never even try and advance up the hill and go around the sides. Because you have the gold. Oh, God. Oh, God. Also have ballistics. TaToH gets rocked. Both of those hits. Sorry, both of the mangonels got hit. It does happen sometimes when you come back from a pause. At least for me. I don't know if that's what affected TaToH there, but he just clearly wasn't paying attention in that moment. Might even see a 4th TC for TaToH. This might be a classic TaToH game where he never takes gold in the middle, and he just goes all in Castle Age with like light cav and archers. Light cav skirm, maybe. So knew his opponent had ballistics. He's had the time to repair. Classicpro's been spotted. TaToH's been spotted. So good. And Classicpro shoots his shot. TaToH with an attack round. What a great shot there from TaToH. As again, you know, for a while there anyways, he was behind in army, behind in type of army, behind in upgrades. And he's catching up economically. Just waltzes forward. And he's on his way to this area where Classicpro's looking for him. A Classicpro with no armor, TaToH will take this fight all day. Like, this army stands no chance. You need to at least have an armor upgrade or the skirms are going to die. Yeah, it's the Pierce armor that makes the skirmisher strong, not necessarily their attack. TaToH, though, he's happy he's pulled Classicpro away from this area, I'm sure. Now Classicpro will probably have to react, and here comes TaToH to the middle. He knows Classicpro has a castle there. Ooh! I would have never expected he actually placed this. But maybe he feels like, where else? His credit to Classicpro that his original castle spot was so good. Crossbows are moving in from TaToH. I don't think Classicpro sees this. The crossbows are going to dive here because TaToH needs damage, guys. He needs damage, and he needs it now. This is really risky, though. He's going to back away. And TaToH's castle goes up. And we'll shoot down this. Here, this is what I think TaToH will do. He's going to go Rams, Petards. Bet you any money, Petards out of this castle. Because if you take down the castle from Classicpro, what does Classicpro really gain from Imp? Not a lot for the archers. And then, of course, with this castle being gone, TaToH's villagers can still freely take gold. Because right now, they're slowly dying. The TaToH's army being forward now leaves him exposed at home. It's because Classicpro's here. Classicpro 90 seconds away from the Imperial Age. And he's dropping stables and getting upgrades, thinking of maybe going light cav. And light cav would be great because TaToH's making skirms. Classicpro has 50 on food, guys. And TaToH, he's got no gold. I mean, sorry, that's wrong. He has gold here. He's got about 1,000 gold. But he just hasn't really had a big push at any point against TaToH here in this game. This is also an interesting spot to sit. And Classicpro distracted elsewhere as he runs in here, though. And micros away. Does get hit. But this is giving him time. He's evened out the Vil kill count a little bit. We'll probably lose this army now. TaToH is queuing up a Petard in that castle, and he does have Rams. And we'll see if TaToH makes his move when he sees Classicpro's and Imp, because I feel like there's no better time. He's going to need army and support, though, because this could easily be repaired. If Classicpro expected this, he could maybe make mangonels behind. I don't know, guys. TaToH's got these crossbows. But Classicpro can get Hussar and Trebs. This could be so tricky. TaToH's going to make a move for this castle. TaToH's even adding battle elephants. He's really going for it here. If TaToH takes this castle out, he could take full control of the middle here. Classicpro's still stuck on Castle Age army. Because he's switching into Cav. But he's late with some of the upgrades. And the Rams go first to soak up the fire. The Petards go next. And Classicpro tries to focus them down. I'm not sure all the Petards hit. The Light Cav are here to take out the Rams. Classicpro's out of stone. He's out of stone. Ah! Oh my god. And the Light Cav are dying. Meanwhile, TaToH's over here killing Vils. And Classicpro has to react. And oh my god, this is insane. I think Classicpro could lose this castle. TaToH is just enough. He also tossed the skirms into the castle too, which is really helpful. Oh god, I mean, obviously we're going to see the Cav come this way, right? Like all new Cav, now Hussar needs to come this way to deal with this. You can't lose this castle. He's buying so much stone. There's Hussars on the way, but the Hussars keep dying to the castle from TaToH. And TaToH's also microing here. And it's tough decisions right now for Classic Pro, but I think he's probably done the right things. The Mangonel, going for the Rams instead of the Light Cav, or the Hussars, maybe okay. Then if you do that, then the Mangonel can get pushed by the Elephant. Man, TaToH had just enough to give himself a chance, but isn't enough. Oh, Castle! Castle, 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 Castle! Gonna stay up. He's almost out of stone. It's gonna stay up, guys, and TaToH's Castle's gonna go down, and Classic Pro, who needs a win badly, might be able to get it now. He's got a 20 villager lead. Funnily enough, has like nothing on gold right now, but he's got 50 on food. And TaToH's gonna stay in castle. He's making pikemen now. But how do you stop yourself from being picked apart by Hussars? You'll lose the villagers here. Classic Pro will just shift elsewhere. I don't know. Classic Pro didn't really attack. And yeah, TaToH just knows. I have no defensive castles. I don't have any gold. And Classic Pro responds in the series. And I think he went for a risky play in Cumans. He played it very well. The map was definitely fortunate for him as well with the back gold and the back stone. And it's kind of funny. TaToH's known for picking the Cumans and playing as the Cumans. I mentioned in the draft. Maybe we could see it. In Classic Pro, just Cumans TaToH, who is so well known, who knows the civilization so well. There were a couple key moments for me in this game. The first one was when TaToH lost his scout, so he didn't really have a good idea of what Classic Pro's base layout was. But the main thing was before that, the Classic Pro decided to wall. Like, obviously, this was huge. This save was important and well played from Classic Pro, and he barely got it done. But I think had he not walled, Man-at-Arm Archer gets more value. And a lot of players aren't walling with Cumans before they 2TC boom because they want to get the TC faster and they want less idle time. But I think getting the walls down makes sense because then you have less idle time in the future, right? It's just the food eco, man. It's so tough to compete with the food and wood eco. Classic Pro also had more gold. He didn't even mind that much gold in the middle, to be fair. But he castled the perfect position as well. You could go for a defensive castle, and then TaToH's castle would have allowed him to take gold. But this castle was like, I will take full control of gold in the middle. We had skirms from Classic Pro. We had siege from Classic Pro. We had crossbows. We had a lot of different things. Score's now 1-1. This is a pretty big deal because TaToH came in with just 3 wins after 2 rounds, and Classic Pro just 2. So it's now, they're both, well, no, I guess TaToH's at 4 total wins, right? And Classic Pro's at 3, but they could easily be tied in the standings if Classic Pro takes the next game. All right, so what I was expecting on the drafts was that Malians would have been saved for this map for Classic Pro. And he chose Malians in game 1, lost that game, because there's just been so many Malians here on this map. And instead of going Dravidians in El Dorado, he's actually going to try Dravidians here. So, interesting. I don't hate it the more I think about it, especially if you think you're up against Persians, because I think that Dravidians have really good units against Persians, potentially. But a bit more of an awkward pick for Classic Pro, where I think things are going to have to go right. Dravidians are very good in situations where there's water incorporated. And, you know, that is the case here, obviously. I think the main concern is this is more of a land map than a water map. And the Persians, just they will feel more smooth than the Dravidians, I think. Plus 50 food, plus 50 wood at the start for the Persians. When TC went up immediately for TaToH, he walked over here to dock. He'll now chop straggler trees, make a couple fishing ships, and adapt from there. Classic Pro would be the same, but because he doesn't have the extra food, it's awkward. And... oh, he wants to go kill the Vil. Ooh, interesting. Okay. So I was wondering why he was doing this, because I thought maybe he couldn't see his shorefish or his box turtle there. He's just scouted this. He wants to wall in his Vil and kill TaToH's Vil. Guys, this could be really intense, because there's actually a reed there, which TaToH could chop, palisade over, and then escape. And then, of course, will TaToH even paying attention to this? He's already added the 3rd fishing ship. TaToH noticed. Okay, TaToH noticed. Now, the first hit came in for Classic Pro, so there's no way TaToH wins this now. And Classic Pro is using his camel to block TaToH. Can TaToH quick wall his way out of this, or is he a Vil down? He's a Vil down. Huge play from Classic Pro. if you walk all the way over there and you don't kill that Vil, that's like 20, 30, however much food you could have had from the shorefish that you are now down, and then you don't get any reward for it. But nice start. And actually, it says TaToH's down another Vil. Did TaToH lose a villager to an elephant at the same time? Hold on. I bet you he did. Oh, God. Oh no. Okay, so at the same time, guys, TaToH was bringing in an elephant. So it's all happening at once. He tries to save this Vil, and then the elephant gets close, and he tried to do a little trick with the palisade. Classicpro won't know it, but TaToH's now down 2 villagers because of that. Whoa, that's huge. And we're going to be back at live time now, but, I mean, your Persian start, which is supposed to be so smooth, not feeling too smooth now if you're TaToH. As, oh, God, he even gets Loom here, too. That's wild, man. TaToH is going to scout now and see that Classicpro's over here. And then Classicpro is going to find TaToH's TC and take a goat. Classicpro's, he's really going for it, guys. And TaToH's going to click up the feudal. Now, this build for TaToH is all designed around killing fish, most likely. At least that's what I've seen with the timings in the past. He knows the gold is there, but this feels like really fragile. He better find some reward for whatever is about to happen. As TaToH's like, how do you like it? And TaToH steals 2 goats. And camels can't attack each other. So these weak camel scouts, they're just able to steal things and can't really fight each other off. 5 HP for TaToH. Good that he can still scout. And then the camel scout for Classicpro is looking for those goats, and he's 15 HP. But the fact that TaToH's is weaker doesn't really have an effect right now. So, a good job from TaToH. They both obviously know where the other is town-centered. And I think this is also a water build from Classicpro. Yeah, water build from TaToH. Off of just 1 dock, though. So it'll probably be something like maybe 1 or 2 galleys or 1 or 2 fire galleys from TaToH to kill the fish into a barracks on land. But res collected should be pretty rough for TaToH right now, because they're losing 2 Vils. And Classicpro may consider a second dock if he wants to go water. Getting the plus 200 wood when he gets to Feud Lage is going to be insane for his eco. What's he doing here? Chopping the tree. Oh, he can't find his gold. He can't actually... He might build a barracks because he has to change his plan because he can't see his gold. It's right there! Okay, now he sees the gold. Does he come anyways? Yep, he's going to go to the gold. And then he will go for the second dock. Okay, so it will be a water war. It's good that he saw that. Because, like, he was very much in wait and see mode. Now, both players should be scouting, and they should be trying to see if the opponent's adding a barracks. The Dravidians have more potential with adding buildings because of the extra wood. So here's TaToH's camel. This is why not losing that camel earlier is so important. He now knows there's a barracks. So at the very least, you wall on land. But TaToH can't really afford to do that yet if he also wants to make ships. And TaToH does not know Classicpro has 2 docks here, but he should assume it now if the fish are that far away. And Classicpro doesn't have his ships yet. He was actually a little bit late on gold, as we obviously witnessed. But Classicpro's done a good job to move around. One other thing I noticed, which is kind of notable in my opinion, is that TaToH's got 6 Vils underneath his TC. And okay, it's 5 now for Classicpro. I was just thinking that TaToH was taking more hunt. Good job from TaToH so far on water. In theory, though, 2 docks versus 1, Classicpro should have the edge here. So you shouldn't be taking any poor engagements here on water, Classicpro. He is going to focus on land, though. And, camel goes down. So TaToH will know there's a stable there, but he can't scout anything else right now. Classicpro needs to repair this fire. He does repair it, but he loses it. And now he's got to repair the next one. A little sloppy from him, but TaToH will know I need to wall up and I need spears at the very least because scouts could be coming out. And I'll check res collected again, but it's got to be pretty freaking close. Big surprise to me, by the way, that TaToH added the galley, which we haven't seen here yet. Normally against fires, it wouldn't work. I think the lack of scouting made him think that his opponent was just on one dock. But against two docks, that galley, wherever it is, I don't think it really does much beyond maybe YOLO snipes the fish later on. How's the scouting for Classicpro looking? Not great, actually. He's scouting different areas of the map with it. But he doesn't know what TaToH's going to have. TaToH's adding spears. TaToH's walled to the edge. We have another pause. Res collected now is actually perfect. Perfect time to look at this. You can see it's pretty close. Actually, the gold count's identical, which is wild. And the galley's going to YOLO in here to come kill these fishing ships. I think the stables, adding scouts is fine. I think it's a good move. I also think the galley's actually going to pay off here for TaToH. He knows this thing isn't going to help him in the fights. So, boom. Yeah, just kill a couple fish. Random demo coming in from TaToH as well, and BAM! He kills the fish. That's good stuff. I mean, Classicpro's made a lot of ships. He hasn't found any reward for it. TaToH's 3 fishing ships have been working the whole time. And TaToH's got spearmen posted up in vulnerable areas, like here. And I still think Classicpro will be okay. I think he's going to be fine to eventually be able to get some damage. And having scout control means he's pretty safe at home right now, too. But great job from TaToH as we see Horsecollar as he'll go for farms. Nice micro there from Classicpro. Spear goes down. Villagers are exposed for TaToH. They're very exposed. There's another spearman. Classicpro should kill that as well. Just kill it instantly. He decides against it, decides to move along. Didn't actually see the villagers there. Mills are needed on all the hunt. Farms are needed eventually. It's not an easy map to play, guys. And TaToH's still hiding with his ships. Even hiding with his fishing ships, but he's lost some there. This is a positive for Classicpro. He sees TaToH's scouts are here. These scouts are not going to his base. This is huge for him. He will also get to see the stone position, the gold position. He could also be very badly trapped. No! Oh, no. Well, let's see how much time he buys himself with this anyways, because... Oh, no. Okay, well, he should know he's trapped now. And you don't give TaToH free kills. You don't give up on this. At your rank, dear viewers, you give up on this. At this rank, you do not. Because you don't want those spearmen to go anywhere else. Oh, no. Okay, well... Eventually, you've just got to look somewhere else. And I think that's what he did there. Great job from TaToH. It's just so crazy how TaToH gets away with certain things here, man. And now, there's no scouts for you, and there's scouts for TaToH. So you need some more spearmen if you're Classicpro. And you need to wall. So, all right, here's the point of the game, though, where we say Dravidians are awkward, okay? Every time we see this map, we see players going for knights and camels. You do not get knights or camels. So, yeah. You know, like, what do you do from here? Also, 4-week villagers. Just like that, TaToH's going to find villager kills. So easy to just miss out on an area and take damage. And it seems obvious that Classicpro shouldn't take this damage. And I certainly think that's the case. But compare that to TaToH's damage control moments ago, right? TaToH's ability to find different areas and get the damage done just a bit better than Classicpro. But, you know, Classicpro's got 6 fish. I actually think carrying more food on your fishing ships that bonus is the most helpful bonus for fishing ships on coast to mountain because you do travel really long distances for the fish. But yeah, here's the counter argument to my argument against Dravidians is that you have really cheap barrack upgrades and you get really good counters to the horsies with the spears. So I don't think it's bad for Classicpro here at all. We'll likely see a boom. I'm sure we'll see lots of eco. And he's going to have a ton of resources when he makes it to the next stage. But this game will probably go late. So where my concern would be when playing against TaToH would be, yeah, I've got pikes, but TaToH has mobility. And TaToH can use that mobility really well. It's like people are always like, well, don't pikes counter knights? Why is this person not going pikeman? Well, a lot of times you don't see it because the knights are faster, and at a high level, players can just outmaneuver. They get to choose when they take the fights, right? Because they are faster. Cheaper barracks upgrades is the bonus the Dravidians have. So honestly, I wonder if even getting squires and not even pikemen right now would make sense. Because that should be cheaper as well, right? I think that's a very caster thing to say. Pikeman makes sense. He's getting pikes. Monastery goes up for Classic Pro to maybe convert some knights or camels. TaToH's making a camel. TaToH, your civilization doesn't get knights. But actually, he sees the scouts, so I guess that still makes sense. TC. This will go late, guys. I wonder if maybe we could see elephant archers from the Dravidians. As again, TaToH tries to find kills. And Classic Pro actually body blocks there a little bit. Do Dravidians have good monks? No. They do not really have good monks. I think Classic Pro just needs to make sure that he doesn't advance out with the monks right away. Eventually, he could just move out with pikemen to protect his monks, and he'll probably be fine. Yeah, 3 TCs for Classic Pro. This is good, guys. Like, Classic Pro maybe showing what he's capable of. Was it too harsh of me to say in a group of Viper, Leary, TaToH that Viper, Leary, or TaToH would be 1, 2, and 3? It gets interesting now, right? Because Classic Pro had beaten Viper in another Titans League season. I think 2-1. If someone could check that result, that'd be awesome. I know he got at least 1 win. I thought he won 2, though. And he's yet to play Viper. I'm not saying he's expected to beat Viper. I'm just saying he can. He's already beaten TaToH here because he played previous game well. This game right now, he's got a lead. He beats TaToH here 2-1. He passes TaToH in the group. Then, having already played TaToH and played Leary. Which is pretty incredible. TaToH deletes his camel there because it was about to be converted. And that'll be relic number 1 coming home then for Classic Pro. Classic Pro got 1 win off of Viper? Okay. I remember it being a really important win. It shouldn't have affected Viper too much. But maybe it affected Classic Pro survival. I think it was at the end. Can you check Season 2? No, he would have been in gold in Season 2. So, yeah, it was probably Season 1 I'm thinking of. Classic Pro beat Jordan in Season 1? Okay, maybe that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, I think, like, Elephant Archer, Halb, is not something Persians really have an answer to. I guess Persians could go Onager against that. But both Elephant Archer and Halb are very slow. Feels like a matchup where a 4th TC would make a lot of sense. Archer range for Classic Pro. Interesting. Double Archer range for Classic Pro. Really interesting. Probably just for crossbow in combination with his pikes. I doubt he'd go Elephant Archer at this stage because they do cost a lot of food. Resources collected now. 1,000 more resources for Classic Pro. TaToH's Persians, though, and Persian economy, it'll catch up for sure. Faster working TCs is really helpful here. Monks and spears and monks and pikes, and then a scout meet in the middle, and something about a bar and a joke. And, yeah, kind of hard to break down at the moment. I imagine monks are going to die, though, and TaToH's monks will die. Well, actually, no, they're healing each other, but the monks for Classic Pro will die because the scouts from TaToH have shown up, and the pikes are kind of out of position, and now there's a scorpion. Well played, TaToH. Guys, don't ever use a spearman or a camel versus a monk. Just don't do it, okay? I think that's another example of why it's never a good idea. These monks don't even have sanctity. They are as weak as a monk can be. It just doesn't work well. Okay? That's my tip to you when it comes to monks. Use scouts. You can even maybe use knights depending on the numbers and if your opponent's paying attention. But a camel and a spearman? Nope. Just don't do it. Just don't do it, man. Just don't do enough damage against them. Oh, man. TaToH wants map control right now. And TaToH with the monks, the scouts, the spears, the pikes he converted. He wants another siege workshop here. This is to apply pressure, hold control, Now, he wasn't expecting crossbowmen from his opponent, but Scorpions are still pretty good against crossbowmen as well. So you don't really have the best of answers against Scorps right now on the field if you're Classic Pro. As he runs directly into a choke point and will... He doesn't take out the Scorpion yet. The Scorpion's still getting hits. TaToH's going to kill the monks. I think this is worth it for TaToH. It's extremely messy right now. Great micro from TaToH. This Scorpion's still sitting on 2 HP. Has 1 kill. The other Scorpion has 2 kills. I guess there is a Mangonel here, though, for Classic Pro, which he could, in theory, use against the Scorpions. But now most of the Pikes are gone. The Knights and the Scouts can work on the Mangonels. And yeah, now TaToH, I think he's read the game perfectly. And he's like, oh, the Pikes are gone? Now we go full Knights. Persian Knights have extra attack versus archers. So we go +2 armor. We'll add in more siege from this hill, and we just roll in with Knights constantly. Just really good engagements from TaToH there. On paper, the army was potentially better for Classic Pro. But TaToH's decision to add Scorpions, really smart here. The forward siege workshop's my favorite part about it, though. And Classic Pro finds himself imping. Could maybe see him expand over here as well. New town centers. I mean, this isn't going to kill him. And if he's patient with his numbers and TaToH's still in Castle Age, if TaToH's army and his investment can't break Classic Pro, TaToH might regret making all these knights. And Classic Pro waiting with crossbowmen, adding more ranges. He wants Arbalest. He doesn't have ballistics yet. He should probably click that ahead of time. But I think he's struggling to have the wood to do that right now. So this is far from ideal timing for Classic Pro with some of these things. The imp time will be great, but it's, you know, he really is going to want to move forward against TaToH instead of staying at home. But I think TaToH's going to have enough where he may feel like he has to stay at home. You see this? We'll make his own Mangonel. TaToH will run through. TaToH will see the TC. He sees the castle. He sees another TC. TaToH doesn't see an army right now. So there might be some confusion. It's going to be really difficult for Classic Pro to find an area where he can actually hit this siege. And just with that, TaToH's bought himself some time. TaToH thinking about imp. There we go. Classic Pro popped out. Took out the Mangonel at least. There's the university for Classic Pro, but he won't have ballistics. And a lot of times players are going to go chemistry first. The bracer, then arbalest. But Persian skirmishers struggle. Oh, man. What does TaToH do? He's just now clicked imp. What's the plan for TaToH? Outposting on the sides to take control of those stones and golds, maybe. He knows the army's there. Classic Pro is exposed over here, but he's dropping TCs to protect himself, so that's really important. Ballistics the first choice before chemistry. I actually prefer that because your army's killer army right now, but you need to make sure they hit the shots. Classic Pro will want to find some damage against TaToH, who's going full knights. Like we said, then you just click Halb, Arb Halb. Really awkward for the Persians. Love the outposting from TaToH. Classic Pro should do the same, but he's in a position where he needs to micro and push, right? And now the Scorpions and the Mangonels are just getting microed down. Great micro from Classic Pro. Could make a mistake and lose all of his army here. So he's got to use that little extra range. Good split micro. Sick, sick. Sick micro from Classic Pro. Woo! And it's expected at this level that should happen. But it still doesn't mean that it's not, you know, he didn't make it look easy there. TaToH found the gold miners, though. So there was no TC there. TaToH finding some good damage. Classic Pro pushing forward. He obviously sees the knights and now can maybe check the upgrades to realize that this is a lot of knights coming from TaToH. And all right, TaToH's got a castle there. So yeah, it would make sense for Classic Pro to maybe try and start trebbing that down. But he's got too many options. He's got the main eco. He's got the castle. What do I do? Crazy army count with really good upgrades and solid eco to back it up, guys. Now, this is a Persian TC, so it will take a long time to go down. And I think TaToH's planning on repairing that TC to buy time. That's really interesting. I don't think he does that if he's not Persians. He's literally just letting the... He's fine with investing wood into repairing it because he feels like it's worth it for him. Now, the Halb upgrade should be cheap, and there it is now for Classicpro. So he'll have Halbs on the prowl. TaToH shows up with skirms, and we have a pause. TaToH has full Castle Age armor on the skirms. He's got all the Castle Age attack that's available as well. He doesn't have imp upgrades, so he doesn't have chemistry yet. He doesn't have the final armor, which to me means that he could lose this fight. I know it's going to be a combination of Cavalier and Arbalest soon, but I'm not sure how good the fight will go. TaToH has the numbers where if these had more upgrades, it'd be a better fight for him. But cost effectively, I think this is better for Classicpro if he takes down the Knights before armor's in. And that's what he's doing right now. It's a lot of Knights going down for TaToH. There's going to be a lot of Halbs coming out from Classicpro, but TaToH felt the need to defend. He backs it off. The skirms push the rest away. And TaToH's TC never goes down at all. So 200 pop for TaToH. Chemistry and armor's on the way. Now the skirms will actually be a big problem. A lot of players would prefer to have no bracer, but have ring archer armor on their skirms. Because the big thing with skirms, oh god, is the pierce armor. TaToH will see the castle, deny the castle, maybe destroy the castle. Classicpro reacting. Classicpro losing his arbs there. Classicpro really struggling right now to get his army count up. And TaToH's skirms will be able to come help here soon as well. Do we have an answer to the skirms? Classicpro, there's still a hole there. He goes for the markets. He traps TaToH. This is a lot more expensive than the trap that happened to Classicpro earlier in the game. The skirms, guys, the skirms are doing enough. And if you're making archers, the counter is skirmisher. If you're making halbs, the counter, well, you know, a soft counter would be skirmishers. And TaToH, pretty happy with his situation with only skirms right now. He's actually clicked Paladin behind this. And he's got all this vision on the sides, right? He knows all about this golden stone. He doesn't actually know there's a TC down here. But him clicking Paladin is because he recognizes I can't be pushed for the next 2 minutes. I can spend these resources on this. Yeah, what I think you would need, if you're Dravidians, is the champion switch. Champion Halb in combination. Supplies and man-at-arms just as I say it. Some people might say go Yurumis. I don't like that if you don't have the castle set up. I think you'd struggle with production. You already have the barracks. And it's cheaper for you to get those upgrades. So, yeah. Now, Persians can then go Gunpowder too. It's really tricky. But, man, what a cool game this is. And I think Classicpro could still put up a pretty big fight. His castle will go up. I'm just concerned, man, that Classicpro is going to be raided to death because TaToH has the side vision. There's no potential for any counter-attacking if you're Classicpro. It's all got to be that death ball. And honestly, what could be an interesting scenario is if Classicpro loses like 20 vills to a raid from TaToH, and because his army is cheaper than TaToH's, maybe he can rise up to army of like 80 or 90. Maybe. But I'm not really seeing the resources float that need to be floating for that to happen, and TaToH's getting important pickoffs, and this is just so distracting. It takes time for two-handed swordsman to come in. That's next on the list. He doesn't have the res yet. TaToH's here with paladins now. This is happening too fast for Classicpro. And the Trebs and the bombard cannons are already on this castle. It's not going to give Classicpro the time. The side stables from TaToH are streaming in paladins. They're going into the back corner of these paladins, all as the siege continues to push. And there was the early imp potential for Classicpro, but it just never really had enough balance to it. It was just the arbs. And ever since then, this looked like it's going to be tough for him to gain momentum back from TaToH. And TaToH's confident. This castle is a castle he'll place with just a couple villagers, I'm sure. He knows that's never going to be contested. And DGG comes in. TaToH did lose a game to Classicpro in this series. Ultimately, a really good thing for Classicpro. But he wins another set here in TTL Season 3. And I think the race for first place is going to be really fascinating in this group. And obviously the race for staying alive as well. Classicpro's win against TaToH is a win that maybe Sobek or Vivi won't be able to get. He now has 3 wins after 3 rounds, which isn't great. But, TaToH then moves up to 5 wins after 3 rounds, which is solid enough from him. I think I got exactly out of that series what I expected. Classicpro hanging in every game, not quite able to win the series. The one thing that surprised me is that it was Classicpro playing humans and not TaToH. You would expect TaToH would have played humans, if anyone. But yeah, better eco there from TaToH is a good recovery. And guys, he lost 2 vills at the start. He lost a villager to Classicpro's Little Rush, and then also lost one to an elephant. He lost 2 vills when he had like 15. Percentage-wise, that's awful. So that's a sick recovery from TaToH. And another game where Persians play out really well on this map. All right, so to sum it up, let's look at the results now in this group and see what it means data-wise. And so the numbers are telling us here that TaToH clearly a pretty solid favorite to be in the top 3, but more than anything favored to be in the 3rd place, if anything. That's 3 rounds for TaToH, 5 wins. I know it doesn't look good, guys, or it doesn't look like great by TaToH-esque standards, but he already played Viper. He already played Leary. His last 2 opponents are Vivi and Sobek. I think TaToH will get 4 wins minimum from those last sets. And Viper and Leary haven't played each other yet. So, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that could happen. Very excited to see how that plays out. We'll see how Leary plays against Vivi. We'll see how Leary ends up playing against Sobek. And then Viper versus Sobek, Viper versus Classicpro. All, of course, on top of the fact that Viper Leary will be the final round in this group. It'd be pretty insane. But Classicpro, it doesn't look like the odds are that good for him right now. Could be relegated based on how things are playing out, but I think the big ones for him will be his series against Viper. Can he snag a win? And then that final series against Vivi is going to be a big one. I think between those two, the loser of that series is most definitely out, but we still have some games to go. And just a final reminder is that if you are 3rd place in Group D, you will then be in a playoff against 2nd place in Group C. If you're 2nd place in Group D, you'll be against 3rd place in Group C. And live standings, as it stands, this present moment, with still a lot to play, it is Hera who's in 2nd place in Group C. So, could be like a Viper, a Leary, a TaToH versus Hera situation if Hera can't end up turning things around in Group C and getting 1st place. So, lots of reasons beyond the usual reasons for Leary and Viper to try and get wins over TaToH, like stacked on top of TaToH in terms of the standings and try and maintain the rush for 1st place. I think Leary's looked the best out of the 3 thus far. Leary looked really good, but still only 2 rounds.